So what I did, I love Procreate, and I brought these images into Procreate, and I made cutters that would fit the, let me get the proper cutter here. Like I mentioned to you, Deb, I have 7 3D printers now, but I made a cutter that would fit my image as well. Not necessary. You could put this on a rectangular cookie equally as well. No big deal. But you can, if there's anybody out there that has 3D printers, you can do your outline of your cutter in Procreate and then size your image so that it fits pretty much like maybe 1/8 of an inch smaller than your cutter, and you're good. But again, that's not necessary. So I have here, this image here was printed on the smooth side of the paper. I'm gonna bring it up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really nice and smooth. And then I have this one that was printed on the rougher side. And I kind of love the texture of this too. Both stick equally as well, and you don't have to, just use whatever size you like. Now, if you have a Cricut machine, I would recommend doing a print then cut so that you don't have to, I love this term, scrapbookers use it. They call it fussy cutting. When you're going around all these little edges and hand cutting all your images, which takes some time. But if you're sitting around watching a movie or a series on Netflix, do it while you're watching TV. But print then cut would be amazing because you could just print off all of your images on your sheet and then have Cricut cut out your outlines perfectly.
And you have all those machines, but not a Cricut?
I do have a Cricut.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 Cricut cakes, and I have 1 old Cricut, and I have a Cricut Maker.
So the Cricut cake is not considered old to you?
Yeah, it's old. I love my Cricut cake. I love it. I know a lot of people struggled with it, but it's one of those things, once you get through that learning curve, like you never screw up again. It's amazing for doing fonts on cakes and things like that. But now you've got all the stuff to use, like the food safe mat, which is great.
Yes.
Because as we all know, Cricut cake is no more.
Right.
But you've got all the supplies to turn any Cricut into a Cricut cake.
Exactly.
And no cartridges required.
No.
So I'm going to move this out of the way. Actually, I'm going to keep those up here and just get my display out of the way. And if you hear things bouncing on the floor, it's my cinnamon hearts. We all know what that sounds like when our dragees and stuff bounce on the floor. And if you have a pet, they run for them.
Denise Chambers is here. Hi, sweetie.
Hello, hello. So my dear friend Sherry, who was made that pun about Heather Salmon, she's watching. And I recently printed some edible images for her, for some logo cookies that she had to do for an order. And I think she had to do around 200. So I did them for her on the Smart Sheets. And I asked her how everything went, because she's not far from me either, just like your buddy there, Deb. And she says, oh, it just, because of the moisture, the paper wanted to curl. So I have a trick for that not to happen. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm not going to make you guys watch me cut that out. And I have there's some images here. And, oops, let's just move these right out of the way and slide my parchment. Okay. So here are some cookies that I baked. And let me know if I'm ever out of the camera, Deb.
I will. You're doing great. No worries.
Okay. Perfect. So, and is the color lighting okay?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Because I can turn another light on, but I'll have huge like
No,
shadows.
I think we're good.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So this recipe, if anyone's interested, is super yummy. It's strawberry lemonade. And if you go to my website, learn2cake.com, and two is a T-O, not the number two, learn2cake.com. And the recipe is there. If you just search strawberry, it will pop up. But it's strawberry lemonade and it's super yummy, just in case anyone wants to make some. So I have some cookies here that I did with the cutters that I made to match my vintage Valentines. And I know there's probably some people on this watching that remember these from when they were little. I certainly do. I'm definitely old enough to remember these vintage Valentines from way back in the day. This one's a little smaller than my cookie, and that's fine too. But I'm going to show you how I attach these so that they stay put and nice and flat, and they fit very well. So what I've got here, I have some royal icing. And at first I was flooding the cookie and then attaching. And I'm not one that likes a ton of icing, and I tend to bake my cookies on the thinner side, about 1/4 of an inch. So I don't like to have a ton of icing. So what I did was rather than flooding or dipping, I'm going to get some gloves on here. I basically take my cookie and I dip my finger in the icing. Lots of fun. And I finger paint and I just spread it to the edge. And that way I'm getting less icing than I would by flooding, for sure, and less icing than if I were to dip the cookie. Because the icing sheet in itself is icing too, right? So I just like to get enough on there, like I can still see the cookie. The icing goes right to the edge. And let me know if I need to bring the camera in closer. And then from there, I take my image and I just place it on like so. Now, as soon as it hits the moisture, the edges do want to curl a little bit, but what I do, I just do that. And that solves the problem. And I let them dry face down and everything dries really nice and flush. And I have one here to show you. So nice and flat and smooth. Okay. If you were doing a full cookie and the image didn't cover the entire surface, that is when I would either dip the cookie or flood it and get a really nice smooth finish. And then I would use piping gel or something like that once the cookie is dry to attach the image. And again, if you get any curling or anything, you can just put it flat, because the rest of your cookie, the flooding or the dipping, would have dried before you attached the image. Does that make sense? Deb, are you there? I didn't lose you guys, did I? Oh, I hear you. I'm back.
Hi, sorry. I went away. You were fine. So
Oh,
I
was
lost
I?
internet.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Oh,
I
did
lost
you? Okay.
internet.
All right.
So that's why I'm like
So
trying to
then,
get on. So
okay, I'm going to put the camera back.
yes.
And so nobody missed anything then.
No, just me. I have no idea
Okay.
what you said. All right, we'll
There.
get you back positioned.
I think, oh,
You
I
want
can
to?
kind of see. Let me just move the, nope, wrong way.
You want to turn counterclockwise, I think.
Oh, do I?
Oh, yeah.
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 Am I upside down?
You're sidewards. So you want
Oh,
to
okay.
move,
So
actually it's
you
clockwise,
tell me
I think. Clockwise.
clockwise. Okay.
From you.
Let me see.
No, it's the other clockwise. The other
Okay.
clockwise.
Counterclockwise. We'll get there. We'll get there. Ah,
There we go. Sorry, that's my puppy.
well, I
Come here.
dropped something. Okay. How are we now?
Okay, so we need to slide you back in just a little bit. Slide the whole thing to your right, your other right. There we go. And then, no, the other right. The right,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and then forward, away from you. Okay, and just back about a half an inch. Good. Okay, we're there.
Okay. Awesome. Good, good, good.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry too. So that will just dry, flipped upside down, no problem, like so. So I'm going to do that again. And let's do that with this guy. I like you so much. So I'm going to remove the image and just putting, oops, a really light coat of icing on the cookie. I love finger painting.
So you didn't have to even be all that perfect floody with it, right?
Not at all, because I did make the cutter to match the size of the image. There's going to be no negative space. Now, I was saying, I think I lost you while I was saying that, but my friend Sherry had to do a cookie and the image was smaller than the entire size of the cookie.
Okay.
So in that instance, I would say flood the entire cookie or dip it. Then once it's dry, add your image so that you can turn it upside down or whatever if you need it to be super flat, if it starts to curl up on you. Okay. And there's this one. This one seems to want to lay a little more flat than this one did. This one was curling up almost right away, but that solves that problem. So I'm just going to flip this one too, just in case. There we go. And then I won't make you watch me flood or finger paint anymore. So I'm going to actually take my gloves off now because I'm one of those people, I have a hard time working with gloves, but I didn't want to get my hands all goopy in the icing. So there we go.
You lick them afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of like this recipe, if anyone does make this recipe and you make your royal icing, add a little bit of lemon juice, like maybe 50% of the water that you put in your royal icing. Replace it with lemon juice, half of it, and it will be really yummy and tart and cut down on the sweetness of your cookies too. Yummy. I think it's yummy anyway. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way and we're going to start to embellish these a little bit. So where's my paper towel? And if anyone has any questions, please just key them in and Deb will read them out to me. Okay, so bear with me. And if you hear me yelp and say, ouch, ignore me. It's just my hip. All right. So here's what we have here. So what I did with some of these is I added some of these edible glitter pearls, which I love. And I think I now have 34 or 35 different colors in stock. And I love to mix them. Like if you look at this cookie here, I'm using white, silver, black, and like a charcoal gray. And I've, to give it some shading. And here it is. And the little P's here, I've got light green in the middle and dark green around the edge. But what I did to kind of jazz these up, I added the little glitter pearls. You can use dragées. You can just use dots of royal icing. This one, for instance, I piped over the thread so the thread would have more dimension. And the lettering, because it was already printed on the cookie, as we all know, we all suck at lettering, at least I do. But when it's already printed and you're just tracing over it, it's going to look nice. So I've traced over with my royal icing to give some dimension. And Be My Valentine, I just piped little red dots so it looked like cross stitch, and then added my little pearls. This one, I've piped over the big pea pod to give it dimension, and around the leaves. Added my little pearls for his eyes and around the peas. And High Podner, I wrote over the top of the cookie. Let's Be Valentines, you could pipe over that as well too. You could pipe over any part of this image that you want to stand out. Like I could have piped over the hats. I could have piped her eyes here with eyelashes, her lips. And then that way too, you don't need to be an artist because you're just kind of following a pattern that's already there. This one here, I added the little glitter pearls for the heart. Cupid's hair, I'm going to bring it way up so you can see. There we go. I piped his hair in yellow and I added all the extra little dots and things like that in the lace of the box. And I added a little like swirl on top of all the candies. So, even though some people might say, this is all cheating to just use images or direct to food printers,
Yeah.
it's not.
No.
There's still skill in the baking. There's still skill in getting your colors right, or your keeping your printer going like we all should, printing once a week. There's work involved. It's not cheating.
Right.
And
so I wanted to, can you hear me okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have questions and stuff too that
Sure.
I was trying to get everything kind of fixed on my side, so I apologize. What one thing I want to comment on with the images is what's changing a lot, and I'm seeing more and more customers do this, is they're using just like you did, the image is a part of it. It's not the whole thing. And there becomes more and more, especially what you did. You were doing you made a 3D cutter. So you're doing graphics as well. Actually, graphic designing is coming in. It's changing the industry. It's so much fun to watch everybody create things. So there's a need for it for sure.
And the amount that you add is up to you. Like you can go crazy and rewrite every single word that's printed here, pipe over his eyes as much as you want. There's no limit to what you can do. Yeah. Now, this guy I really love. So that's the original. Oops. There we go. And I redid the straw. I'm going to turn this sideways. I don't know if you can see the straw, a little straw done out of fondant.
Yeah.
And like, if you saw this in person, the straw is so stinking cute.
Yeah. We can see it. We can see the detail on it.
Yeah. So, I piped his nose. There's all kinds of things you can do. I took a marker and I outlined around his tongue. It's really endless. So I'm going to get to the part where I'm going to embellish this guy here. And I'm going to bring, and you tell me if you can still see. I'm going to work in this area, Deb. Am I still? Okay.
Yep. The top of your fingers. Now the hand part was not in the center. Now those two cookies are fine.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to work on this one here. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's really kind of cool, because I don't want to I know there's some people use tweezers. I'm just looking for my paintbrush here. There it is.
Can you
Tweezers.
tell me
Yeah.
about your glitter pearls?
Oh, yes, yes, I can. So they are edible and they are made from cornstarch. They are not super hard and crunchy. Like, I'm going to eat one. They're crunchy, but they're not like teeth breaking crunchy. They're like just as crunchy as your royal icing would be. And they are edible. And I have like so many colors. This is only just a fraction of what I have. And yeah, so they're on the website too. So if anyone is interested, just go to learntocake.com and in the search, put glitter pearls and they will all pop up. There's magenta. I can't even go over how many colors there are. But speaking of those, when I put them on my cookies or my cakes, I was using tweezers, and what a pain in the butt. And I know there are tools out there that can pick up little pearls and things like that. But out of desperation, I came up with this. And everybody will have one of these, I'm sure, that does cookies. But see the little paint your own brush? This is what I use to get all of my little pearls onto my cookies and my cakes. So to do that, I have a bag with some piping jelly. We all know piping jelly is like the best kind of glue out there, right? So I'm going to just cut a little hole in my bag. And what I'm going to do is wherever I want these little pearls to be, I'm going to pipe just a thin line, really thin. This would be like cutting the bag, like having a zero tip, really small. You don't need much. And then with the pearls, this is my tool to stick them on. And what I do is after I pipe my piping gel, I get just a little bit of piping gel on the end of my brush. And instead of dipping right in my container, I pour some in the lid, because if I just put this in the container, all the pearls will just move around and nothing will stick. With them, oh, is that Cosmo?
It's Cosmo.
Atta boy. Show her who's boss, puppy. Okay, so I put the pearls in the lid so that when I push down on the pearl to pick it up, there's something hard underneath to, to give resistance so that the little pearl does stick. Can you guys see that little guy there? Are you there, Deb?
I'm here, but
Okay.
okay. I saw what you did then. Yeah, look at that. Perfect.
Yeah. So what you want is you want your cookie to be stickier than the end of your brush so that when you place this down, it sticks to the cookie and doesn't lift up with the brush again. And one dip of the brush in the piping gel will pick up a good amount of pearls. Like you'll get, 5, 6, 7, maybe even up to 10 pearls to stick on the end of the brush. And then once they stop sticking, wherever I piped the piping gel, I just kind of dab a little bit and kind of reload the end of my brush. And I just sit. And this is kind of really soothing, believe it or not. Does anybody do diamond painting? You know, those pictures that are sort of like paint by number, but you add the little crystals?
Yeah, no, I've never done that personally, but I bet there's.
Oh, my goodness. Like you can get lost in it. I have one that I started a long time ago that I haven't finished, but when I was working on it, that's all I did for a week. And
wow.
my husband, Gary, was like, are you going to like do anything this week other than that?
I would love to do that, actually.
It's really, really therapeutic. And I find This is too. Now, if you put a glitter pearl down and you don't really like how it's positioned, you can just use the brush end. Just kind of push them around like so. I'm going to finish just this part of the heart, and then I'll move on and I'll start piping some little things on, oops.
I love the gadget. It's like the
Right?
simplest thing in the world.
Yeah. So we have a dollar store here in Canada called Dollarama. And if anybody that's watching from the States comes to Canada, I highly recommend you go. Like Nick Lodge, when he would come to Canada, that would be one of his first stops. It's an amazing dollar store, but they should sponsor me, because you would, so many of my tools are just like things that I find at Dollarama. So there, I'm gonna, and are we close enough? Do you want me to come closer?
You're doing, it's perfect. I wouldn't mess
Yeah.
with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I just messed with it.
I'm always afraid, don't mess with it. It's good.
Okay. So I'm going to get some white here. And I have in my bag icing that is like a soft peak consistency. And soft peak I like to call marshmallow fluff. So, you know, when you get a jar of marshmallow fluff and you mix it up, it's the same kind of consistency.
Got it. Julie has a question.
Yeah.
She wants to know, why did you choose the smart sheet and not the icing sheet?
I chose the smart sheet because that's what I have here. And I love like I have Flex Frost. So I sell Flex Frost. I sell wafer paper. I sell smart sheets. And I just love the smart sheet for the simple fact that you can do, it's so versatile. Not saying that the icing sheet isn't,
No.
but I just love the amount of things that you can do with the smart sheet. The smart sheet. I love that the color is super saturated on them. I love that they don't crack or like, I just got a new shipment in and I have a few sheets left from my shipment from last year in a package that I didn't close all that well, and it's still super pliable.
Yeah. It's kind of a preference thing more than anything else, but
Exactly. Yep. And for me, that's my preference. That's all.
Yeah. For the smooth side, when you print on that smooth side, it's gorgeous. But it is sugar free as well. So there
you go.
Everything's different.
I did not know that.
Yep, totally sugar free. That has no flavor.
Amazing.
It doesn't taste like anything. Whereas icing sheets taste vanilla-y.
Is that too much light?
You created more shadows. You were good the way you were.
Okay.
Stop messing with things.
All right. Because for me, you know, the phone adjusts for us, right? Like for me, it's super dark in my kitchen, but I know that it does adjust lighting and all of that for on the camera. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so that there's no shadow on the high podner here. But I have a tiny little hole in my bag, probably too tiny. It's better to start with a really small hole and go cut a little bigger if you need to. But again, like a 0, really small. And I'm just going to trace right over this lettering. And my icing is not really runny. It's that marshmallow fluff consistency, because the worst thing is when you're trying to do really small lettering is your letters just kind of blend together because the icing is spreading. But a nice soft peak is perfect for this. And then if you follow the lines well, people will think, wow, she's really good with her lettering. I'm terrible at lettering.
And I know one of the big blue owners was actually, she's a little blue owner. She loves it because she said there's no way that I could get the clarity of the letters with hand piping when they're really, really tiny. I mean, smaller than that even.
Even if you have a projector, When they're really tiny, they're hard to see
Yeah.
because projectors aren't super, super clear. At least the one that I have isn't. But yeah, the puppy. So I can trace right over the lettering. If I had black lettering, I could trace over Let's Be Valentines, but I don't. But I can even write over that in white and allow the black to show through like on the sides. I'm just going to write let's here just to see.
Yeah, it gives that shadow effect.
Yeah.
All right. So Sydney Sites wants to know: are there freeze-dried strawberries for the recipe in the freezer section, or are they dried?
So they are dry. So if you know, like when you get special case cereal and there's strawberries in it,
Mm-hmm.
those ones. For those in Canada, the freeze-dried strawberries are at Dollarama. And they just so happen to be in a 20 gram package that the recipe calls for. But they're on Amazon. I bet you like maybe Trader Joe's or something like that.
Yeah.
But just Google it, freeze dried strawberries, and you can use raspberries, would be amazing, blueberries, pretty
Yeah.
much
Usually
whatever.
that's found in the nut section of the grocery stores, actually, the
Yeah,
freeze-dried stuff.
yeah. So, and then I found the flavor. I did use a little bit of strawberry extract in the recipe as well because I found the freeze dried strawberries didn't have quite enough punch. And you don't have to add the lemon if you don't want to, but the lemon is pretty nice. And like I said, don't be shy to put it in your royal icing either, in place of some of your water.
I
But
could see a big road trip to Canada, a bunch of
I,
us get all together and go. And Ed Custom says, "Can I ask where you're coming to Canada to go to Dollarama
Dollarama.
because Susan Trianos told us to."
Well,
Oh, I know her. She's the
it's
Dollarama queen.
it's funny because I was in the States How do
Puppy.
I see how to do that? How to log off?
Oh, you can probably just close the program and open it back up. Go to Facebook.
All right.
I'm entertaining with Puppy.
Oh,
1 second. Oh my gosh. 1 second. 1 second. See my lips. Second. I don't know why I'm whispering it if you can't hear me. So hold on 1 minute. Un momento. Un momento. Wah, 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 wah. Called doggy abuse. Oh, look at them. You can hear me now? Okay. Oh, yay. Ow. Okay, so you can hear now. Yay. Okay. So sound. Why am I showing up that we have that's my Lori, how are you signed in as me on the iPad? Okay, so she's coming right back. Hold on 1 minute. Bear with us. I didn't want to lose the whole thing, so I came back on. She's logging off and logging on because that's the most important thing. Oh, it's our YouTube. Got it. You love my t-shirt, Sydney? It's the first semi retreat. Okay. She should be coming back on in just a second. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime that I can answer? Because is anybody getting a clear, like I'm totally clear on my end, which is unusual. Normally I'm not. Hold on. Oh no, look at that. I wasn't looking at the Facebook side of it. So usually I'm not clear on the broadcasting side and I am on Facebook. It's weird. Song and dance time. All right. So talk to me, guys. Couple things. Couple things that I can tell you. I hate this because sometimes I can't tell things. So we're going to be in Austin at the end of March. And audio is now in sync. Yay, video's fuzzy. I can see it on my Facebook link. I think she may be coming back. She may. I'm clear for you. That's the first time I've ever been clear in my life. So you have two sides of things. Sometimes it's your internet, sometimes it's our internet, or it could be the internet through the programs as well. So the little brush that was for the balls was just one of those PYO brushes. They're tiny little brushes. And she just took the end of the end of it and that just used it to basically, with a little bit of piping gel, just to kind of move it over. You could probably use a wooden skewer if you wanted to. They're working on their end, guys, so just bear with us. I can see things happening, and you can kind of see when the half comes up blue screened. But that's what the little brush is. That's all. And it's ingenious because they're like pennies. And so the handle side is used for moving them back and forth. And then she kind of mushes it or scoots it along if it's not in the perfect place with the other side of where the brush is. So it's a great use. I love those kind of tools. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you all hear her?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you. You're now visible on her Fire Stick. Mitchie says she does something with her mini sugar shapers and shortening. Yep, same idea.
Yeah.
All right, I'm assuming they can hear you because nobody's saying they can't.
Okay, good. So yeah,
I'm going away. Bye.
So just what Deb was saying, it's just my paint your own brush, and probably any paintbrush would work. And I'm literally just getting a little bit of piping gel on the end to make it tacky, and it picks up whatever I need. And I can just, instead of using little tweezers and they bounce all over the place. And yeah. So I'm going to try this again, because I got on a minute ago, and then as soon as I turned my camera, I think I lost you.
Gotcha. Well, I'm good at talking, if not.
Okay, so let me turn this.
Here we go.
Oopsie. And I'm upside down, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so let me just take my
We're
phone.
all going to just stand on our heads.
Yeah.
And you stay still. A little more. We're doing good.
Yeah. There's something on my stand that's in the way from allowing me to turn it. So there we go. Okay. There.
All right. Now you kind of, there you go. Bring the top, the part of the phone that's furthest away from you down a little bit, and the phone that's the part of it that's closest to you up a little bit. There we go.
Okay.
A little bit more. Are you trying to get the pods into the center?
Yeah.
Okay, so just, oh, well, that's one way to do it. And then move the cookies away from you just a little bit. And you're about centered there. There we go.
Okay, awesome. We're back.
Yay!
Sorry about that, guys.
Nothing keeps us down.
So, yeah, so this cookie here, I just outlined the brim of his hat in the green, and this one I flooded it. So you can flood things, you can just outline. One of these peas I will flood. And my icing again is like that soft peak consistency or marshmallow fluff. So I can get really nice round peas. And let's flood this one too.
How about your cues?
My what?
Cues. You get round cues. Do you get round cues? Sorry.
Peas and cues.
Sorry.
That's like a dad joke, Deb.
Yeah. They call them
just going
jokes.
to wiggle that out. And I'm going to finish doing the red glitter pearls here, but I'm going to use some red icing and just outline with red. Like, you don't have to go crazy with the pearls. Like, I've flooded that green there, and I can just put one little pearl up at the top to make it kind of shimmer a little bit. So I'm just going to put some piping gel on my table here, get the end of my tool a little sticky, and pour these in the lid so that I have some resistance when I push down on the little pearl, and I can just stick it in the icing like that. You don't have to, like I said, go crazy and add tons of these pearls, even though they're super pretty. I did, right before we lost you guys, I added some little black pearls to his eyes so that they sparkle. And her lashes, if you want, you can go in with a marker and make her lashes more pronounced. And let's just do some more. And while I'm doing this, I can answer more questions if there are any.
Yep. Well, of course, Heather's got to cause some trouble.
Yep.
She wants to know if those cutters are going to be available on your website.
I can certainly make her some. Yep. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I told you she's trouble.
And if she wants the images, like I've got an edible printer here. Like, I can send you images along with your cutters too.
Oh.
Or does she have a printer?
She recently won a printer at the Simi retreat.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucky girl.
I know. She was excited.
Which one did she win?
She won it's the entry level printer.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So
she has two printers now because she did have one before.
Okay. And was that, and so she knows then. I was just going to give her the advice to, you know, and you know what I do to keep my printer going? Um, if I need to print something that is not edible, I will
Hmm.
print like a shipping label or something just
Yep,
to keep my inks going. And,
exactly.
and honestly, like it's the same as, you know, if I used my regular printer to print it.
Except when you get it wet, it will run. So cover your shipping label up with tape.
Oh, I do. You know what I do? I get from Dollarama. I get the page protectors and I
Oh,
cut them
yeah.
in half and I slip them inside there
Oh,
and
gosh.
then tape that. Gotta love Dollarama.
And this broadcast is made
It's been
available
brought to you
by
by.
Dollarama.
Yeah, yeah.
The
But
website,
yeah,
Linda, is learntocake.com.
yes.
Learntocake.com. The show that's not sponsoring us that should be is Dollarama, which is in Canada.
Right, right. And sometimes you get lucky and you put this in your pearls and it'll pick up two or three,
Gotcha.
which is always nice. But I don't know if you any of the people watching saw the little cookie that I did for Christmas that said joy in the middle. And
Uh-huh.
I used these little glittery guys and did like a candy cane trim, but they're lots of fun. Now I will say though, if you live in a humid climate, um, don't put the like Canada, we're fine. We're much drier climate, but like if you're living in, you know, South Beach or something and it's humid and you put your cookies in the fridge, these will melt because they're cornstarch. So
Gotcha.
they don't love super high humidity. Humidity in your house, that's fine, but humidity once you bring something out of the fridge, um, I wouldn't. And I tested them here in Canada, but we're also February.
It's just barely, but yeah.
So it's not humid here at all. But I did put some in the fridge and they were fine. But I'm told from the manufacturer if it's super humid, not to put them in the fridge. But I mean, I never, you know, I know a lot of people will message me and like, oh, I have an order next week. And do I have to bake them on Thursday? Cookies are fine done the week before. And if you're putting them in a little cello bag, then you don't even have to worry about refrigeration and all that kind of stuff. So, and Deb, how are from, I think with the smart sheets too, they would probably, um, deal with humidity quite well.
Yeah, they don't care what the weather is.
Yeah.
It could be humid or
Yeah.
dry. When I first got them, I was in Vegas and I printed on them and I did all kinds of stuff to them and I left them out in Vegas. Then I brought them back to where we are, which is Four Seasons, and they sat on the
Yeah.
counter for a year. Nothing
Yeah.
affected it.
Yeah. And I mean, the fact that you can also print, paint your own paint palettes with them
Yes.
and like get them wet and they don't disintegrate on you.
Right.
And you're so right. They are like the love child of wafer paper and icing sheets.
And Flex Frost. It was a threesome.
Right. Oh, geez. Now you're getting dirty.
We said love child. I met
I
three
started
parents.
it.
You
I
know,
started
it
it.
takes a village. It was you.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
I started it.
Victoria, yes, of course. This is always on playback.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, it's going to be on YouTube as well as the Icing Images Facebook page and everything Icing Images. And I'm betting
And
you shared it on the cake.
I will provide a link on my Instagram page tomorrow in my link in bio, that will bring people from my page to the Facebook page
Perfect.
to watch it as well. Because I know some people were worried about missing it. And
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much all of our lives are on our Facebook page. You can find them, and even on the YouTube page. So,
yep.
yeah, you can look for all the Susan Trianos lives through the years, and find them all.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to have some fun and actually flood this pea pod. Why not?
Go to town.
Just to show that, you can add so much dimension to what people would think is a cheat. it's
Yeah,
it's not. I
it's
mean,
not.
you could
It's just
say projectors are cheating. Like
right.
you know what I mean? Like there's so
And paintbrushes. Use your
and paper
fingers.
any tool, right?
Yeah,
You
it
could
is a tool,
say
just like anything
is
else.
yeah. So this icing is pretty thick because it's soft peak. So once I flood it, I'm just going to leave the tip of my piping bag in the icing without squeezing, and I'm going to jiggle as I kind of go down this pea pod. So typically, if I was flooding the pea pod, my icing would be a little not so stiff. But and you
Thankfully,
can
it's
always pick it up and give it a shake too.
yeah,
Just
shake, shake,
don't
shake.
drop it. Just don't drop it.
Right. Mitchie says we're frozen. I'm not seeing that, so it may be just on her end.
Yeah. And
So,
if no one else is saying it,
yeah,
then it could be just on her end.
Mitchie
But
got
yeah,
frozen again.
she's not frozen now.
No, she got frozen again.
Oh,
It snowed there like a week ago in Vegas.
yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
Weird weather. But that's basically it. I mean, you can just embellish however you want,
That's
but it's
adorable.
taking something that is going to help you along
Mm-hmm.
the way. And I do realize that adding all these little glitters takes time, but you don't have to do that.
You can
You
do
know,
whatever you want.
you can do whatever you want and just flood certain areas for dimension. And like I said, too, adding that, I just love that straw.
And I love the
Yeah.
whole thing. I mean, when I saw the picture, I was like, that's all bling, because you could just when you were moving it, and then it came to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that, and it's
Yeah,
lined up
so
so
sparkly.
nicely. You know,
Yeah, so when I put them on and they're not lined up like nicely, I just use the brush side to kind of
yeah,
put them back in a row.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's awesome.